Hi, my name is Nur Izayasmi binti Ahmad Sofyan. My metric number is 10DDT23L1027. Today I'm going to explain about Project 1 Visual Basic Programming. So here are the questions for Project 1. As a project manager in company ABC, your group is responsible for proposing a Windows application system project. To develop a Windows application system using VBNet, you have to consider. So here are the titles that we have choose. It's a student registration system. So the thing that we are really have to consider is the problem statement. Currently, the student registration process at university is conducted manually, which creates a several challenges for both student and administrative staff. So this manual process creates several challenges for both student and administrative staff, affecting efficiency and accuracy. As you can see here are the key issues that have been happening. One major issue with the manual system is that the student registration process is time consuming. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Nushafinda binti Muhammad Saha. My number metric is 10DDT20F1046. I will be continue presenting about problem statement. The third problem statement is limited accessibility and communication. Student and staff must be physically present to complete or verify registration details. If a student encounters an issue with their registration, resolving it may take longer due to the lack of an integrated system for real-time update and communication. Last but not least is lack of real-time tracking. The current system does not allow student or administrator to track registration status in real time. This results in uncertainty and additional workload as staff must manually check and confirm details for each student. Our main objective in this project is to provide an easy-to-use registration system for students. Next, to store student data securely in a database. Also, to allow students to register, update and delete their profile efficiently. Moreover, to include a login system for secure access to student records. Lastly is to implement validation and exception handling for better data accuracy.
Hi, my name is Aimi Dalina binti Azmizam and my number matrix is 10DDT23F1032. So for the next slide, I will explain about planning of our project. So we start with our first one, that is login page compulsory. It is for username and password fields and also login buttons with validation. Next page is for student registration page. The fields is for name, student ID, email, course and contact number. Then for buttons, it is used to register, that is insert, update, delete and search. Moreover, we also include input validation such as email format, required fields. Last but not least, student list or view page. It displays a list of registered students from the database. Next is the search bar to find students by ID or name. And the last one is buttons for edit and delete. So, this is our planning of form. The first form is for students to insert their username and password. So, for this page, we use two labels and two text box so that it is easy for students to understand. Next, we also add two buttons that is for login and sign in. Students will choose whether they already have an account or they are a first-time user. Then, for the next form that is form 2, we add 5 labels including 5 text box. That is name, student ID, email, course and contact number. Next, for the text box, it is used for students to fulfill their details in the text box. We also add one button that is for students to submit their registration details, and their details will show up in the list view. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.
First is we create database because it will be linked to the form. So for database, we put name, student ID, email, course, and phone number as our field name. And for the data type, all of them as a text. So here are the coding of database. The red code is the main thing to call the database. After create the database, we will create form 1 that has username and password and also has login button and sign in button. As for the coding, it's making the form 1 functioning. After create form 1, we create form 2 that different for form 1. In form 2, we have name, student ID, email, course and phone number and register button. As you can see, it's the same thing as the database we create earlier. So for form 2, coding also same is to make the form function.
So this is form 3, which displays all the registered student data in a table. It allows user to view, search, update and delete records easily.
Sub-radio button 1 is for student ID. When it's select, the coding will enable for text 1 is true because it for insert student ID in text box 1. And for other text box 2, names text box will disable false and combo box for course disable false too. So user can only search by student ID. Next, private sub-radio button 2 is for course. When it select, the coding will enable for combo box 1 is true because it's for choices in combo box 1 and for others which is text box 2, name text box will disable false and text box 1, student ID, disable false too. So user can only search by course. Next, private sub-radio button 3 is for name. When it select, the coding will enable for text 2 is true because it for insert name in text box 2. And for others text box 1, student ID text box will disable false and combo box course disable false too. So user can only search by name. This slide is make radio button match to the containing text. When the search is clicked after make one choice by name or student ID or course, the compiler will run to check if the data that user insert is matched with the data in database to display on data grid view. If radio button 1, student ID, like and text box 1.text.trim, else if radio button 2, course, must add validation because user need to choose one option to search. If user did not choose one and message box show please pick a course and return to course like and combo box 1 is selected item to string. Else if radio button 3 for name, like and text box 2.text.trim. This slide illustrates the code responsible for highlighting the preferred information after a user performs a search. The code likely takes the search terms as input to the matching data within the display result. This immediate highlighting makes it easy for user to quickly identify the information they were looking for, improving the efficiency and usability of the search function. After insert data and click search to display the student data into highlight preferred info is built the full SQL query with the search information. Dim SQL query as string. Select name, student ID, email, course and number phone from register where and SQL where. Show data is SQL query. Next coding is text box 3 is for names, text box 4 is for student ID and text box 5 is for email. Next, text box 6 is for course and text box 7 is for number phone. It calls by row cells to make it call by row.cells to make sure the database insert into a correct highlight data grid view.
Here we add the update and delete buttons. These buttons let the user quickly make changes or remove student records from the system. This slide shows how the update and delete buttons work. When a user clicks button update, the selected student's info can be edited. The delete button removes the record after a confirmation message. Here are some example outputs from the system. It shows what users will see when they interact with the application, including how data is displayed and how form functions. The login system only allows access when the username is test user and password is password. This adds a basic level of security to the system. After logging in, the user clicks the sign in button, which takes them to Form 2, the student registration page.
So, if you can see, this is the database that already been brought. This is before we add new student registration. This information came from Form 2. If we wrote the detail that Form 2.1, it will connect it to the database we create and the information will stay.
This shows a validation error message. If the user tries to register without filling in required fields, the system will show an alert, helping to make sure all necessary information is entered. When a student is successfully registered, a message box appears to confirm. After clicking OK, the new student data is added to the database and shown in Form 3.
As for this slide, after click OK, it will go to Form 3 and the new data will add into data grid view. And database access, the circle right is the new data that has been wrote. So for this slide, it shows validation error for course because user need to choose one option to search student data. So as name and student ID, if the user didn't write it and after click the search button, it will show the validation. So for this slide is the example of use radio button name for search student name. And after we click the search button, the information will show at data grid view. So here is the example use radio button student ID for search student data. Same as radio button name and course, if we write down the detail we want, it will show all the information we write in the data grid view and also will show it at highlight prefer info. That's all from me. Thank you.
On this slide, it shows example output where user choose one option for course such as JKE, JKM, JTMK and JP. Next page is example output when use button delete and display message box in confirmation to delete. Click OK and the data will delete in the data grid. We can see the data of student ID 10DKM23F 1007 want to delete and it show confirmation message box to delete and after click OK, the data has been deleted on data grid view. Database in access is also has been deleted for student 10DKM23F 1007. Last but not least, for example output when use update button and display message box after update. We can see the data number phones of student name Shafina is 10376764885 and change the number phone at text box 6 to 01376764886 and update it show message box the student update and after click OK, the data number phone has been updated on the data grid view. Database in access is also has been updated for number phone Shafina. That's all from us. Thank you.